beautiful babes, and welcome back to another video. And I am a little bit late to filming this video because it has been spring where I live for like a couple weeks now, but I wanted to kind of get this up. I had been planning on filming this video for like over a month now, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. But if that's something that sounds like it interests you, I do film a lot of palette content and just like shop my stash type of videos. So definitely, if you are not already, definitely go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get into my favorite eyeshadow palettes for spring. Okay, so I am gonna start off with what I have on my eyes today, and I will just kind of zoom up so you can get a better look. But that is what I have on my eyes today. I think it's super pretty, just super mauvey and spring. And the shimmer that I have on my eyes is this Plume shade from the Enchanted palette. And this is an older palette from Sigma that I've had in my collection for a while, but I just think this is so spring appropriate. And you can get this on sale quite often. Sigma has quite a bit of sales. And I just love this color story. It has this fun like green gold shade. I haven't dipped into that one yet just because I'm kind of just been wearing a lot more wearable looks, something that's like a lot more subdued. I've been loving like a mauvey purpley pink look, but I love this palette. I can't stop using it. So if you see Sigma has a sale, I would definitely recommend picking this one up if you don't already own it. And then for the mattes, I actually dug into my Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette, and these metallics in here, they're not trio chromes. I would consider them more duochromes. I'm gonna try not to blind you, but I just use like the matte. I use all of the mattes in the second row, and the second row and the last row are my favorite rows. I don't really care for the first row as much. I've never used it. It has a lot of like green tones. So if you like green tones, you probably really like the first row. And I really think this green metallic here is so stunning, but like this like lime green shade, that's just not my jam. And then you have this really light mint transition shade. I think it's a really cohesive row, but I just don't really care for it. I think this is a really cohesive palette in general. It isn't as intimidating. I've almost picked up the Circo Loco. I got this on Black Friday, and you could get a bundle where you got this palette and the Circo Loco. I will kind of put a reference picture up in the top just so you can see what palette I'm talking about. But that palette just, it's pretty, and it looks like it has a lot of pretty shades in it, like jewel tones, but I am not really into like deep, like intense looks anymore. So I just don't feel like that palette I would get as much use out of. But the next palette I'm going to talk about is another one I have been using a lot lately. I've just kind of been rotating through these palettes because I had planned on filming this video, but I've just been loving using these palettes, and I haven't reached for any other eyeshadow palettes. And this is an oldie but a goodie. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and look at this color story. I love this like purpley color, and then this like glitter topper shade, Nebula. It's just so pretty. I did a look recently with this like coral shade in the crease and just used this on my lid and topped it with that, and it was so beautiful. And if you ever want like look inspiration, I mean, I'm sure there's better people that you could follow, but like if you follow my channel, you enjoy my content. So definitely hit up my Instagram. I post looks there all the time, and I just have a lot of fun like just posting what I'm using currently. And I'm a lot more, sorry, I was trying to think of what I was trying to say. And what I wanted to say is I'm a lot more consistent with posting on Instagram because it's just a lot faster. It's like speed content. Like reels are, I don't film very often either, but like posts, like it's just like you take a couple pictures of what you're using or like your makeup for the day, and it's like one and done. But I do want to be more consistent with YouTube. It is kind of a goal of mine. But the next palette I want to talk about is this Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette, and it is more wearable, but it's got these pops of pink, and I really like this like special shade right here, that blue shade. It's really pretty. And I've used this like 2 times already, but I do want to dig into it again. I did just recently get it, so I did not get it when it released, but I will link the video where I try this palette out for the first time down below in the down bar if you're looking for some palette inspiration. And I'm gonna go into my other Pat McGrath palettes that I picked. Okay, and this is a Pat McGrath quad. It is my favorite Pat McGrath quad I own. In the summertime, this is always the one I take traveling with me. And I love this like pinky purple duochrome. It's just so pretty. And then you have this like lavender purple shade, and this peach shade is everything. This is my everything in the summer. Like I just want to wear this in my crease, maybe a pretty shimmery pink eyeshadow on the lid, and it's like one done and thank you ma'am. I don't know if that's the saying, but like this is such a pretty quad. Like, and this quad did not get the, I've seen a lot of like people saying that this quad is so light, but on my skin tone, this is like the perfect quad for summer and spring. So I love that quad. And the next Pat McGrath palette I want to talk about is the Utopian Dream palette. This palette is like so beautiful. Like I did get it for this purple special shade, but all the other shades are really special too. This coral shade is so pretty. It's so bright and intense. I really want to do a look with this multi-chrome shade, but I haven't used it yet. I do have the Divine Rose too, and the multi-chrome in there is like my favorite shade in the entire palette. But if you can pick this up on a sale, because it is very expensive, I definitely would suggest it because you will not regret it. This is just such a beautiful palette. And getting into some like cheaper options, and this was my first BH palette I ever picked up. This is the Lost in Los Angeles palette, and this is a true pastel palette. And this does kind of give me Natasha Denona pastel palette vibes, but for like way less of the price. I think this retails for like $18. So it is a really good price. And I love that it has this white color, this white matte in here. That way you can lighten them up even more, because I've been loving a subdued, like really subtle, like soft look. So that makes the eyeshadows look even softer. So I love that. If you don't already have this and you've been wanting a pastel palette, maybe if you wanted to pick up the Natasha Denona pastel palette, but $65 is just not in your budget, I would definitely see if you can find this somewhere. I know BH Cosmetics, it's kind of iffy on what the scoop is with the brand right now. I don't know if they're going out of business, or I heard that they got bought out by Makeup Revolution. So I hope they don't change their formula, because they really do have an awesome eyeshadow formula. And this is Glamlight, the Michaela palette, and I love this palette. It is a little bit like more loud and intense than I typically wear, but this has been kind of in my rotation and I haven't reached for it yet just because. But you do have these two like more neutral rows right up here, and then the bottom half is color. But I do want to do a look again with this palette because it is really pretty, and I just think that it's such a beautiful palette. If you love color, I would definitely suggest picking this one up, because Glamlight does do sales quite frequently as well. And I think that the shimmers are like the star of the show in this palette. Glamlight has such an amazing shimmer formula. It's just like almost like a cream eyeshadow, which I love. And we have 2 more, and they're both from ColourPop. And I could have picked so many other ColourPop palettes, but the thing is, I did not want this to be a best spring eyeshadow palettes from ColourPop video. That could have been an entire video in itself, because I have a lot of different ColourPop palettes, but this is the Lilac You A Lot palette, and this is my favorite purple palette from ColourPop. It's just so soft and subdued. Like, it has these really soft purples. It does have one deeper purple, so you can deepen it up a little bit. I guess this one is deeper too. So 2 deeper shades, but the shimmers are just really nice. This Wake Me shade is a really nice duochrome, and then it just has these really soft purple shades. So if you want like a really soft purpley palette, I would definitely check this palette out. It is really pretty. And the last one I have is this Coast to Coral from ColourPop. I have been using the Sweet Talk palette a lot too, but I just recently got that within the last few months, so I did not want to talk about that one because I've had this in my collection for a while. I've had it for a whole year, so I can really give you my thoughts on the palette. And I love that this is just a really good everyday, like, kind of corally palette. And it also does not have a pressed, it does not have a pressed glitter in the palette, which I also love. And it has this deeper shade called Drop Off, and it does have the glitter in the matte. It is a matte shade with glitter in it. So I don't love that, but it's just a really well-rounded palette. I think it has 4 mattes, and actually it has 5 mattes and 4 shimmers. So I just feel like it's a well-rounded palette. It's got a mix and a variety. And yeah, so I really love that one as well. But I did have fun filming this video. If you guys have any of these palettes, let me know in the comments. If there are any specific palettes in this video you would like to see featured in Get Ready With Me's, I can definitely do some looks with some of these palettes. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next one. And if you are not already subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.